Junzi is a Chinese philosophical term, often translated as gentleman or superior person. Confucius used this term to describe the ideal individual in Confucianism. While the sage represents the highest ideal, Confucius introduced the concept of Junzi, which is more attainable for anyone willing to strive for it. Confucius, one of the most influential Eastern philosophers, emphasized cultivating virtues, disciplined thinking, and personal growth. He believed that if rulers improved themselves, their subjects would follow, creating a better society. His philosophy focused on benevolence and moral behavior, using the gentleman as a model of moral excellence. Confucius identified 5 virtues that define a true gentleman. Anyone who practices all 5 can be considered a superior person, an embodiment of true virtue, or simply a gentleman. It's important to note that, although Confucius often spoke of gentlemen and manhood, his teachings are universal and apply to all people, not just men. Before we explore these virtues, let me quickly introduce the sponsor for this video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community offering thousands of courses to help you develop real-world skills through project-based learning. With a premium membership, you can access expert-led classes in various fields to boost your creativity and career, all without disrupting your daily routine. Each course includes bite-sized lessons and hands-on projects. If you want to be more productive, I recommend the course Real Productivity: How to Build Habits That Last by Thomas Frank. At just $10 a month, Skillshare is an affordable alternative to expensive in-person courses, and they're offering a 2-month free trial. Click the link below to get started. Now, let's discuss the 5 virtues of a true gentleman. 1. The virtue of Ren. Confucius defines Ren as the virtue of loving others. He mentions it frequently in the Analects, though never formally defines it. It's often translated as benevolence, love, altruism, kindness, or compassion. All these interpretations share a common idea. Ren is an inherent quality in every person, manifested when one treats others with kindness and respect. Ren is evident in both the inner mindset and actions toward others, driven by love and a desire to avoid harm. Confucius believed that being a gentleman does not depend on social status, appearance, or eloquence, but on embodying goodness in one's relationships. Mencius, a well-known disciple of Confucius, argued that Ren is naturally present in everyone. For example, if a child were to fall into a well, you would instinctively try to save them, demonstrating that compassion is part of human nature. In modern society, many people adopt an indifferent attitude, walking past those in need without reacting. Confucius encouraged practicing Ren by following the golden rule: do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself. If everyone followed this rule, society would be more harmonious and respectful. For Confucians, the family is the most important place to practice Ren. Only by fostering love and respect within families can a society as a whole reflect these values. It is difficult to instill high moral values in everyone. However, the more families demonstrate mutual love and respect, the more harmonious the broader community will be, whether local, national, or global. Ideally, if a government truly embodies Ren, one that genuinely cares for its people, there would be no crime or poverty. 2. The virtue of Li. Confucius said, "Look not at what is contrary to propriety. Listen not to what is contrary to propriety. Speak not what is contrary to propriety. Make no movement contrary to propriety." Li represents proper conduct in society, cultivated through engagement in cultural practices that help shape the superior person. Li is about understanding how things should be done, guiding one's actions in relation to others and within society. Li is closely tied to fairness and justice. By understanding these principles, individuals can cultivate their character, This concept primarily outlines 5 constant relationships: parent and child, husband and wife, elder and younger siblings, friends, and ruler and subject. These relationships establish hierarchies and guidelines for behavior. Parents should be loving, children obedient, elder siblings gentle, younger siblings respectful, husbands fair, wives understanding, friends considerate, and rulers benevolent. For example, in government, a gentleman should be kind and work for the people's betterment, while citizens should be loyal to their leaders. This extends to the workplace. Those in positions of power should lead with fairness and integrity, while interns and employees should respect their superiors. By following Li, harmony is maintained in these relationships. Since 3 of the 5 relationships involve family, Confucius emphasizes that when family relationships are peaceful, the whole society will be calm and orderly. Another important aspect of proper conduct is shao, or filial piety, which involves showing deep respect for one's family. Confucius believed a gentleman should honor his parents, especially in their old age, by repaying their care and kindness. In many parts of Asia, children take care of their elderly parents at home, a practice that contrasts with the more individualistic and consumption-driven Western approach, where aging parents are often sent to institutions. Confucius taught that when parents are alive, a good child does not stray far from them, as they are the ones who helped raise us, and without them, we wouldn't be where we are. Our parents made numerous sacrifices for us throughout their lives, and a gentleman shows love and gratitude for his elderly parents by taking care of them. 3. The doctrine of the mean. Confucius's doctrine of the mean is about decision-making, advocating for a middle path between extreme positions. The best decision, according to Confucius, is always one that avoids the extremes and embraces moderation. Living this way means not striving for excess and always valuing compromise. Confucius promoted this idea during a chaotic period in Chinese history when states were constantly at war. Today, the world is far more complex, and our overconsumption is a major issue. According to the World Health Organization, global obesity tripled between 1975 and 2016. Other studies show that 1 in 8 American adults is an alcoholic. A divorce occurs every 13 seconds, and over 16 million adults in the U.S. experience depression. Slow down for your health, for those around you, and for the less fortunate who may benefit if you consume less. 4. The virtue of xin, trustworthiness. Confucius said, "If wealth or poverty come honestly, there is no shame." Xin is typically translated as honesty, integrity, trustworthiness, faithfulness, or sincerity. Confucius emphasized that faithfulness is an indispensable virtue and essential to Confucianism. It is considered the standard of value and virtue for Chinese people. Confucius encouraged his disciples to be honest, stating that if you know something, say you know it. If you don't, admit it. This approach reflects the correct attitude toward learning, as only a person of integrity should be entrusted with responsibilities. A person without faithfulness is considered unworthy of trust, and Confucius would distance himself from them. Once trust is broken, it is hard to rebuild. While an apology may help improve a situation, it cannot completely mend the damage or restore things to how they were. If you lie to someone, they will never fully trust you again, even if you live a life of total honesty and integrity. The person you deceived will always question your sincerity, and true trust can never be regained. According to Confucius, honesty is essential, whether in ruling a country or in personal conduct. Honesty is a prerequisite for building good relationships, ensuring peaceful coexistence, and facilitating communication. It is key to fostering understanding, trust, and cooperation. In business, honesty and faithfulness enhance market confidence, support international relations, and stimulate economic growth at both national and global levels. A society's development depends on honesty, and a truthful government can unite citizens and promote societal advancement. Therefore, a gentleman should always be honest, as honesty is the foundation for self-cultivation, stability, and achieving success. 5. The virtue of practical wisdom. Confucius stated, "By 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. Third, by experience, which is the bitterest." Often translated as practical wisdom, is the ability to judge right from wrong, good from evil. This wisdom enables a person to make appropriate decisions, adhere to societal roles, and follow rituals within relationships and social structures. Practical wisdom is rooted in the Confucian love of learning. A gentleman should actively engage in the learning process. Initially, learning is just about gathering ideas, but through reflection and practical application, those ideas evolve into knowledge. Accumulating knowledge and applying it brings wisdom. Confucius identified 3 main methods for acquiring wisdom. Learning wisdom by reflection. Confucius considered this the noblest approach. Reflection involves being mindful of your own thought processes. It allows you to evaluate your learning and understand the why and how behind it. However, if your life is chaotic, it might be hard to reflect properly. Keeping diaries and notes can help you track your thoughts and continuously build on your learning. Learning wisdom by imitation. This method is the easiest, as it involves learning through observation and imitation. You pick up ideas and behaviors from others, often by paying attention, remembering, and being motivated to model what you see. A modern example of this will be watching videos on platforms like Skillshare. Learning wisdom by experience. Confucius regarded this as the bitterest way to learn, as it comes through personal experience and challenges. Each individual's experiences are unique, shaping their character. While experience can be difficult, it is through it that we gain wisdom and maturity. As Confucius said, man is the product of his experiences. Wisdom, although painful to acquire, is a vital virtue that can help guide a meaningful life. This virtue is crucial because ignorance is dangerous. Confucius warned that those who do not seek knowledge are at risk of living foolish lives and spreading ignorance. Wisdom is foundational to all other virtues because without it, a person lacks ethics, social skills, and even common sense. The other virtues, such as honesty, trustworthiness, and kindness, require wisdom for guidance. A life lived with wisdom leads to virtue and leaves a positive, lasting impact. 6. The virtue of righteousness. Confucius said, "The superior man is easy to serve but difficult to please. If you try to please him in any way that does not align with what is right, he will not be pleased." This virtue can be described as righteousness or justice, referring to what is morally right. Confucius considered righteousness to be at the core of a true gentleman's character, an essential human virtue. Righteousness represents the good that a person values and holds dear, but the desire to be righteous can sometimes conflict with other desires, such as the pursuit of power, influence, or wealth. For example, imagine overhearing your office colleagues gossiping about someone behind their back. You know gossiping is wrong, but you don't want to go against the group. You give in to peer pressure and start gossiping as well. According to Confucius, this is cowardly behavior. When you know what is right, it is your responsibility to act accordingly, even when doing so involves risks. Failing to act righteously when you know better is more harmful than not knowing what is right at all. Ethical behavior arises when moral values take precedence over competing desires and are cultivated through the virtues that form a moral character. Confucianism, much like Stoicism, teaches that one should never compromise their character for personal gain. For instance, if someone gains wealth by compromising their moral integrity, that wealth should not be kept.